Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to roam the galaxy until we complete our 1,001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories dicked around, ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 91.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Holy
Did
shit.
91's a good number. That's all I got.
Is it prime? I think it's prime.
Could be.
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, let's see. 91 minus 1, 90 minus...
Is it one of those weird ones that's divisible by 13?
It's not. It's divisible by 7.
No, it's not.
70 plus 21. Both numbers.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Those 7s, they're
Sevens
pesky.
and 13s are always the pesky ones.
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
I love 7. 7's a good number.
7 is a good number.
Guys, I feel this is a good week.
Is it?
Well, I mean, not if you follow the news. But, I mean...
But by that metric, there are no good
There are
ones.
no good weeks. But, you know, we've spent the past month or so in a convoluted plot line hiding from our own ship's computer as we're sailing across the galaxy trying to find the old gods, defeat Bethany because our enemy's enemy is our friend, yada yada yada, review show.
Is that what we're doing?
But this week,
think so.
you know, it was good. We weren't at war against our computer. None of us were hiding in various rooms, having a confusing geography of what the ship looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It was just some smooth sailing, I thought.
Yeah.
You all
fine.
agree?
Smooth drifting through space, maybe.
Yeah, we haven't used our engines in a while. Is that a problem? Is that how you...
Well, once you get up to speed, you don't really need to use that much.
Because it's a
fuel,
vacuum. Space is a vacuum.
It just kind of keeps going.
That's actually true.
If we're being fuel smart, then yeah, we're okay.
Okay, so we're being eco-friendly.
We're going really,
Well-
really fast. You just don't have any reference point.
No, we are in space.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been good. Good stuff all around.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's funny that you said eco-friendly when our reviews power the ship, so it's pretty clean energy already.
Yeah, we're all being friendly with each other.
Yeah,
This is good.
Okay, cool.
it's true.
I don't think you... Guys, I think we need a bit of a morale booster. We need like some of those like morale leadership games or something like that. We'll do
Nope.
some trust
No.
falls.
Oh, those suck.
Yeah, please, God, no.
Let's do trust falls with 0 gravity.
Let's do a trust fall where we just push you out the back of the ship. How about that?
No, see, I did that to Pedro. Then I forgave him. See, we're not doing that anymore.
You're the villain of that story.
Hmm?
You're the villain of that story.
I'm the one that's supposed to be doing the forgiving.
Yeah,
Oh,
what the...
did you forgive me?
I didn't care.
I'll take it.
Pedro, you gotta teach him a lesson.
Anywho, I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Leigh.
I'm Pedro.
And together we are the Immortals. Every week we review one of the 1,001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. We just do this every week in our self-made spaceship as we have some bookending plots going on. But now we're in the heart of it. This is the show where we take the random number assigned to us by our non-murderous computer. And this week, it's 213. So if you go to all those published books of 1,001 movies you must see before you die, etc., this is what we're going to review this week. The movie.
I really
is-
like when numbers with where the first 2 digits add up to the third one. Makes me happy. 213 is a good number.
There's probably a mathematical term for those.
I'm sure there is. I don't know what it is.
Boring,
What's
I
the
bet.
movie?
The movie is Adam's Rib.
The album is Shaft by Isaac Hayes.
The food is Jerusalem Artichoke.
The song is I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
The children's book is Foxie by Ingrid and Edgar Parindoleur.
Wow.
And the TV show is Land of the Lost. But first, Adam's Rib.
Adam! What? Don't you dare slam that door.
All right. Hello, all you pleasant people. This is a Smith named Pete yapping at you about a Tracy named Spencer and a Hepburn named Catherine and a studio named Metro Goldwyn Mayer. This studio, my friends, has made a whimsical filmsicle. What fancy talk. Anyway, it's a swell show named Adam's Rib. Named Adam's Rib. Named Adam's Rib. Named Adam's Rib. Well, I guess it's named Adam's Rib. However, sprightly, brightly, and lightly, it tells a whacking good tale. And I do mean a whacking good tale. Besides its laughter, there's a lot of warmth and truth in Adam's Rib. But best of all, it's a happy picture. Spencer Tracy is happy. Katharine Hepburn is happy. And I am happy to tell you how happy you'll be when you see Adam's Rib. Thank you.
What you want your rub down?
Starring the famous pairing of
You want a
Spencer Tracy
drink?
and Katharine Hepburn. This is one of, I believe, 6
Want anything?
collaborations they had together.
What?
And this one, a married couple.
Now look
who
here,
are
Kip,
both
I'm
lawyers
fighting my
and they
prejudices,
are
but it's
going
clear
to
that
be
you're
on
behaving like
opposite
a...
ends of
I
the
hate to put it
courtroom
this way, but like a
when
man.
they decide to
You watch your
be
language.
Part of a trial.
This is
of
basic.
A woman
I'm old-fashioned. I
who
like
is
2 sexes.
convicted
And what is
of
more, I suddenly don't
assault.
like being married to what is known as a new woman.
Allegedly.
I want a wife, not a competitor. Competitor. If you want to be a big he-woman, go and be one, but not with me.
Appears to have attempted to
Allegedly.
get a gun and try to murder her adulterous husband.
Try to murder. These are conclusory statements.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That have no
Oh my God.
place in
They
the
even mentioned this
conversation.
in the film, Austin.
Did you learn nothing? By the way, I'm a defense attorney for children in my day job.
And I agree with Spencer Tracy.
Ugh.
No, so no, it becomes a comedy of the genders as they go through this court case and also look at a lot of feminist arguments. And I'm using every word incorrectly.
Yep.
That's okay. So,
Just like Spencer Tracy.
I think Sarah's got to go first for this one, right?
I love this movie a lot. I really liked it. I mean, it, yeah, I really liked it. Look, I'm not gonna, it's a screwball comedy. I'm not gonna defend the, like, I'm not gonna defend it as accurate or, you know, even, like, making sense all the time or making sense as, like, a thing that you would actually do or a case that would actually make sense to make the point she's making on or any of those witnesses she called being at all admissible to the case.
You know, this is literally the conceit of your other podcast.
Yeah, so by the way, I have this other podcast called Ad Absurdum where we dissect legal issues appropriate in film. But no, this is great. Like, this is a great, like, examination of the way, you know, implicit, like, the way we treat men and women differently in a very, very important way. And it is, and even though it feels a little dated, because I think part of the reason that people have a negative reaction to this movie is because they feel like, oh, well, this woman, like, clearly shot her husband, she's the bad guy. And I mean, I think, like, what the movie is talking about is an era where men shot their wives all the time. Like, you know, men killed their wives all the time and were not prosecuted, right? So, like, a world where that was considered or at least, and certainly attempted to kill their wives, which is all that's really alleged here, all the fucking time, without ever being prosecuted or ever being brought out of the house. And Katharine Hepburn is sort of sitting there saying, well, that's some bullshit. I don't think the movie comes out as pro-husband killing. I think the movie is about, this is insane. It manages to be extremely entertaining and also have, like, a really lovely, cool marriage depicted, I think, that feels both very of its time and also very equal. Like, that it shows, like, two people who seem very fully realized dealing with the actual reality of asking your spouse to confront his own implicit stuff about women when he might not be ready to, and also the sort of the dangers of staking out of sort of putting your principles before the people that you love, and the reasons that has its flaws and might not be worth it all the time, maybe. It's awesome. This movie's great. I really liked it. The end.
Had the rest of you seen this before?
No.
No.
Leigh, what do you think?
I think it was very interesting to see feminism depicted for this time period.
Mm-hmm.
It's, if you look at it with the time period it was made in mind, it is an incredibly incredibly feminist movie, and it's wonderful. If you think about it in modern terms,
yeah, it's kind of a mess.
it's not. It's a huge, awful, awful mess. But there's some really interesting points that Katharine Hepburn's character tries to make, and I feel like even for the time period, a couple of those may have been able to been portrayed a little bit better, or a little bit less, I don't know, a little bit clearer, because I still feel like that while the main thesis of the movie is that men and women should be more or less treated equally, even in terms of the law, I still feel like at the end of the movie I felt like, nah, women still kind of have a second place.
Yeah, that there's like an element of like Katharine Hepburn sort of settling into her role as the dutiful. It doesn't have like quite a Taming of the Shrew ending. Like I wouldn't accuse it of that, but it's definitely got a little bit of that feel. Like in the end, Katharine Hepburn's definitely the one in the wrong, which seems incorrect.
Yeah.
Oh,
for the relationship.
That's so weird because I actually thought that like
the guy was
that Spencer Tracy was seen more in the wrong.
Oh.
Like that last scene where he's like, "I can do it too, guys." I'm just like, "Oh wait, the fuck!" Just kind of threw everything he said earlier.
The prank he was doing?
Not the prank. The very later last scene when he turns on the waterworks and he.
Oh, that scene?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was annoying.
That scene was kind of a mess. So at the end of this, and so basically the trial happens. It ends in the middle of the movie. Katharine Hepburn wins. Spencer Tracy comes in and tries to play a prank on her and reenact the whole thing and like pretend to be with a gun. She also cheats on him, should be noted.
Did she go through with it?
No, what are you talking about?
I thought she was just hanging out with the guy.
She kisses him. I mean, he catches her kissing the guy.
I think it was more he went
the
for
other
it.
Guy.
Yeah,
I guess
Well, also that's the biggest plot hole because he's very gay.
So gay.
So gay.
And also Katharine Hepburn plays it like you're my gay best friend.
Yeah.
And he plays it as I'm your gay best friend.
It's very strange.
And the plot says,
it's very strange.
"Oh, I need to cheat on you for the sake of having this prank play out." But I like the way the prank played out of them essentially recreating the walk-in because essentially to me in this movie, Katharine Hepburn is right on so many issues, but Spencer Tracy is right on only one issue, which is nobody should shoot their spouse. And so when he does the prank, he just basically goes, "See, it's both of us," and just kind of walks out with the fake gun.
But I mean, so anyway, that happens, and then basically she doesn't forgive him for sort of obvious reasons
because she pointed a gun at her head.
That's some fucked up shit. They are about to get divorced. It looks like, and then has sort of a reconcile moment where they realize actually we still really love each other and we love the farm we had together and can we just get in a car and go see the dogs, which I thought is one of the more genuine moments of sort of makeup I've seen that they definitely when they decide to make up it's actually not because one of them pulled some dramatic shit. When they actually make the decision, it's no, they actually love each other and the life they had together and decide that this is bigger than them. But then in a later scene, Spencer Tracy talks about they're having a conversation about their relationship, and he says about during that scene where they got back together, Spencer Tracy cries, and so does she. And later he says something and I think it's supposed to be a little bit tongue in cheek, but just says I got what I wanted, and I always will because see I can turn on the waterworks too. I just don't use it as often. And then he makes himself cry, which is definitely a wow, women are really manipulative and use their emotions, and the fact that women cry is a bad thing and crying isn't whatever. I have a lot of feelings about that.
Well, there's a callback to a scene earlier when she was crying in because one of what I thought was interesting about the marriage was that after every day of kind of their kangaroo circus trial, kangaroo court, that's the actual phrase, they would go...
Kangaroo circus would be adorable.
Oh, it'd be delightful. Especially when they wear those hats. But there is something about how they would just try to go home and ignore the fact that they were just get to their at work, and it only lasts so long. And then there's a a fight that kind of breaks out. It started because Mr. is just being a complete asshole. Totally the wrong. And the movie knows he's in the wrong. And she starts to cry, but there isn't a moment of, like, her being caught about faking it. Like Katharine Hepburn's acting is to go from very sad to very angry, and not this was a ruse, this is just her personality. So if that scene had, yes, I'm crying to win the argument, then that would work with the ending, but that wasn't there. So it's just kind of like... He never proved that women use crying to manipulate men. As
But
opposed
he
to just being
implied
sad.
it.
Well,
He never proved it.
And I
He's
think
an asshole.
the movie just assumes that we all believe that to be true, which is, I think, where the scene struck me as a little gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But for the most part, come on. I mean, like, this movie does a pretty good job for its time, I think, of being I mean, yeah. I don't know. There are a lot of
Quick
movies.
side note, can I interject
Yeah,
here?
of course.
When they're talking about splitting up the taxes, who has what expense on their taxes, et cetera, and they talk about how it took them 6 long years to pay off that farmhouse.
Oh my
I
God.
almost threw up. Like, literally almost threw up.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they're a pretty successful couple, though.
No one pays off a mortgage in 6 years in the modern
And no
world.
one's going to get pity for it.
Yeah. Meh. No.
Where are we with our student loans? 200 years!
Yeah.
God damn it, I went to Harvard when it opened. Anyhow.
It's because you mentioned how they come home and they don't really talk about, the elephant in the room, which is their trial. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun for its, like, base, comedy thing. But there were a lot of points where I was like, can this happen? So first of all,
Nope.
I gotta know, can a husband and wife be on opposite sides? Like, if you're...
It is possible. The way that it would occur is that the defendant has essentially absolute choice over her own lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Most ethical lawyers would refuse to take a case opposite their spouse because they would not be able to represent the case fairly.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, like, it is certainly not unprecedented in American law. Doesn't mean it should happen, because it shouldn't, because that's a crazy thing. But, like, in theory, like, so, and in modern jurisdictions, like, no. But there have definitely been cases of small towns with husband and wife defense prosecutor teams. There are actually a weirdly high number, in my experience, of defense attorney prosecutor couples in the world. Like, it's really interesting how many of my defense attorney friends are actually married to prosecutors. So it actually comes up on a fairly regular basis. But the normal practice is for the defense attorney to explain to the client that they could not competently represent them because, obviously, I mean, you can't sort of... Like, if Austin was the prosecutor, and the best thing for my client was basically to, completely rail against him in court and call him, like, a monster, that's going to be way harder for me to do because he's my boyfriend. So...
Yeah, I've never done anything wrong.
That's not at all what I said.
What?
But but yeah, so it is not ethical. No, it cannot. No, it does not regularly happen. Yeah, it's happened. I mean, like, and I mean, like, it's not so outrageous that it has happened. So it being the basis of a screwball comedy doesn't bother me too much.
Gotcha. Well, because you kept mentioning how the defense attorney would say, I'm ethically shouldn't do this. Because he was the district attorney.
Yeah, the district attorney could also definitely recuse himself from a case. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, even if they don't, which is allowed, can they talk about it at home?
No, they would not be able to, which is one of the many reasons why it is a really bad idea. The judge could also order them not to do it, by the way, even if they both thought it was a good idea. But, I mean, like I said, like, there have definitely been small-town jurisdictions where this has happened.
Well, clearly the judge was going to allow everything to happen.
Yeah. I mean...
This judge was
there-
poor.
And it was interesting because I was doing sort of some of the legal... Well, I'll let you... if you have other legal questions, I'm sure I'll be able to mini and ad absurdum them. But it actually is... What she's arguing is really interesting. And would not be an argument that would be allowed in a modern courtroom. But is not, in theory, is not a untrue. There are definitely jurisdictions. I mean, like there. I don't know if it would have been a legal argument to make at the time. It'd be interesting.
No transition. Adam, what do you think of the movie? Because you are a vegetarian, so you do not eat ribs.
Correct.
So you already had a bias going in.
Yes, but his
And
name
your name is Adam.
Right.
That's
right,
true.
right. Yes.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's the big one.
There's lots of clay everywhere.
Yeah. That's where I live. That's how I live. I don't think I kind of enjoyed this movie, but I don't think I would recommend it to anyone because it doesn't seem like, to me, it didn't have much value apart from a historic, like a film history perspective on it. Because, like, if you look at the poster and how, like, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, it feels like a movie that's just, like, factory-made, spoon-fed to be a successful movie that people will like. And I'm sure it was great at the time. We don't remember because we had our memories wiped. But yeah, it's fun, but it's not. I'm not going to see it again.
Well, it goes to one of my biggest problems with the movie, which is I don't think it's funny.
You don't.
Yeah.
I laughed maybe once my second time watching it, and I like Woman of the Year and even Death Set, which is wonderfully dated. It's about how computers will never replace librarians.
That's
And librarians win at the end.
Yay, librarians!
It's a fun movie. I think those are better. I thought those were funnier as well. And there's a lot to talk about the movie that I think is really interesting, but this is a movie that is known for being hysterical. I mean, AFI, it's looked up, had it on as their 22nd funniest movie of all time list.
I think it's hilarious.
I mean, I chuckled a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, it's
but...
droll. It's not like, it's not, it's not a, I mean, yeah, that's not its style of comedy.
But like, people bill as, like, a lot of people who, like, certain critics who, like, adore this film and give it, like, 5 stars, best of America and comedy and everything, do laugh throughout the whole thing. And I found just a lot of jokes did not work for me. And I wasn't shocked that when I saw that one of the screenwriters is also known for the play Born Yesterday, which I also don't find funny. Also insanely successful and won an Oscar by Judy Holliday, who's the client in this movie. So yeah, that kind of hurts it a bit because, like, these are two very, very talented and funny actors. I mean, this is no His Girl Friday. This is not the lawyer version of that. I think it works more as a character piece than as a comedy, and I don't know. That hurts, especially when you have the gay guy riffing for an entire slide reel.
I
just found that uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't
That
think
would not end.
I don't think I've despised any character more than this person in
Right?
any film.
Kip, yeah, he sucks.
Any film that I've ever seen.
Kip sucks a lot. Wow, that is a strong opinion. Say more.
Like, there's.
But describe the scene more.
Well, they're watching
All
a
the scenes.
home video of Katharine
Which,
Hepburn.
okay, yeah, real quick. I don't want to watch people I know's home videos. Why would I want to watch two characters in a movie home video of their house they bought?
Exactly.
Why was that in the movie?
Because it sets up the whole thing at the end about how much they love the farm.
Yeah, but they could have said,
Gives this character his wonderful moment of comedy.
No.
10 minutes, it felt like.
They could have said, we have a farm and dogs there. And instead, they do a 5-minute home video where this guy is commenting on. It's essentially like a montage, and the guy has something to say about every section of the montage, and it's just like so snarky to the point that it got under my skin and like crawled around, and then there was just nothing genuine about him at all. There are the other characters are like evil and all that, but I understand why they're evil usually, or they're bad actors or something. But this guy was honestly a pretty good actor, doing a decent job at the part. It was just like obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then he says near the end, like, this, like, the 5th time he's seen this. Which means, like, what are you doing? Like,
He has planned all those jokes.
Have you done this 4 previous times?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Also, they have to stop showing this at parties.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like, this is getting
Well,
obnoxious.
I mean, think about back then, though. I mean, how often, like, you get a new house, a new apartment, whatever, you meet up with your friends, like, oh, let me see pictures, let me see your dogs, let me see pictures of this. You don't have that back then, so instead you make a cute little home movie cut and you show it to them. Like,
That's fair.
Wait,
That's
but-
fair.
isn't that the opposite of what they like? Movies are harder to make than photos.
yeah, I'm saying it's really easy for us now to just, like, show a couple of pictures
Oh,
on
I see,
our
like
phone,
on phones and
that
stuff.
sort
Okay,
of thing.
okay.
Whereas
I
back
get
then
it,
you
I
don't
get it.
have that.
Like
but you
slides,
say, hey,
yeah.
guys,
Like
you want to see
showing
our home?
slides, yeah.
But if I'm having 4 people over and someone has already seen it 4 times, I'm not putting it on.
Well, he lives across the hall. He's just a dick.
I think he just steals it and watches it on his own time.
Yeah.
It was rough. But, like,
And then he's like, I only love you, Katharine Hepburn, because you live across the hall.
Also,
I need a
annoying.
beard. This is actually, I feel like it's the plot of the film. But yeah, but like, you know, as if the dialogue was as sharp. I think it's well plotted, and I think it's has Mr. Things to say. But as a comedy, it's never its strongest suit, which is just a weird entry of its genre. It is fun that the 2 who wrote the screenplay were husband and wife.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
That
cute.
makes sense.
yeah. There's
They were an amazing couple, though.
Yeah, I found their marriage really believable. Like,
Right?
that
all
worked
it-
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, for all of its sort of messiness and sexism stuff, like I believed them. Like there's the scene where he's like chopping up like peppers and onions, and she's yelling at him about not putting green peppers in whatever he's making. That just like worked for me, and also like that scene was one of the ones that they didn't. Like, I was watching that scene, I was like, oh, like, they totally could have played this, like, for laughs, that he's, like, in a frilly apron, and they didn't. It was just like, this guy helps cook. That's super duper unusual for this time, and they're just gonna, like, that's a thing that's true about their relationship.
What's also kind of wonderful about all Tracy Hepburn comedies is that Tracy is second string to Hepburn. You like
Yeah.
her personality is that strong, and part of the reason they work together so much is that like almost every plot is kind of him coming to the fact that she's better than him. That's kind of how these films work, and it's delightful often. And so even though I didn't love their dialogue and some of the scenes we threw out, there's still a lot of fun with this movie. And I also enjoyed either through Tracy's performance or through the script itself. They do like seem to quietly acknowledge that she is a way better lawyer than he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like she seems so much more prepared in the courtroom of like strategy, what to do, and he just kind of has this amusingly, I don't know, male confidence that like, no, this is the only way to see things.
Well, I mean, what he's
And-
got
and then-
behind him is, you know, the fact that she shot someone, and you can't do that,
Yeah,
sort of. But you kind of can if you think about the other way. I don't know. It was weird.
Any final thoughts?
I really like this movie. I think it's great. That's it.
Me too.
I liked it, but I don't think it's great.
Okay.
I liked it by the second time, and I think it's okay. In fact, I would give it 3.5 hinges.
4.4.
I'll say 4.3.
2.8.
3.
All right, that is Adam's Rib. It's available to rent in various streaming places, and every library is bound to have it. It's Adam's Rib.
Yep.
You know who would have made Adam's Rib a whole lot better?
Chef. Sorry.
Leigh, can you dig it?
Sure. The album is Shaft by Isaac Hayes. Shaft is the soundtrack for the movie by the same name, Shaft. The album came out in 1971, and I think it's cheating.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely it's cheating. It's crazy it's on this list.
It should not be on this list. I'm sorry. Like, as a soundtrack, it is a fantastic soundtrack. I played some Stardew Valley while I was listening to it today, and it made my fishing really exciting. But as an album, it's cheating. It shouldn't be on this list.
Yeah, it's the soundtrack to the movie. It's the film score he wrote for scenes in a movie.
Yeah.
The movie,
it's very obviously film score, because it's like, here's the chase scene and here's the creepy scene. Like, you can just tell by the tone of the music, which doesn't help when you don't have the context of the fucking movie.
Right.
and I've seen the movie several years ago, and the movie's really good. You know, it's a really awesome mystery thriller, and it is still best known for that fantastic title song that is one of the coolest songs ever made. And yeah, the rest of the score is quite good, but it helps make the movie good. I don't know. There's only a couple of songs in the soundtrack that have vocals to it. This is just 2 or 3. Isaac Hayes did work on everything. It is a 70-minute soundtrack, though. It's pretty impressive for a soundtrack.
That is actually, yeah.
But there's one song that there's on there twice.
It's true.
The theme from Shaft has both the instrumental and the vocal version on it, and it's 5 minutes. So.
Well, I also argue that that's too few times for the theme from Shaft to be in this album.
It's a great theme song. Again, should not be on the album list.
I remember one time, I forget what it was, Pedro and I were going to go see a movie, and we're driving, we were late, and then that song came on the radio, and then we stayed in the parking lot to hear the rest of the song, and then went to go see the late movie.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember what film we saw. This was important, though.
I kind of remember sitting in a parking lot. I don't remember the song.
I feel Kent was there.
Probably.
Yeah, because Kent would agree to this. Because the song is that good. And it's so cool to have a complete understanding of your character before he's even on screen. Because, like, the Bond theme song doesn't do that. You don't feel you know Bond after that awesome, tune. This is Shaft. We all know who Shaft is, and you guys haven't even seen the movie. Or it's 2 sequels, including Shaft in Africa, which I own. You all need to watch this. Because Shaft in Africa is bonkers. Guys, let's review Shaft in Africa.
I mean,
Episode 100.
I mean, yeah, it's coming up.
Much rather review this along with the movie, because I feel like it would give a lot of context that I'm missing. Outside of what the main character does and who he is, I know nothing about this movie, except that there's probably a chase scene in there somewhere.
There is.
Is this the only movie soundtrack that's on the album list?
I don't know. I think it is, though.
I think so. Did you, I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I wasn't, connecting this music to that scene or anything like that. But I just enjoyed listening to it, though. It just has a really cool sound. And, the movie, I guess, helped dictate variety to it, because it's going towards different scenes of different tones. But as an album, I actually found it very listenable. And I could, just listen to the album by itself several times.
It's a great album. I had it on all day today while I was fighting a migraine, and it didn't make me actually scream every time. So, it was still enjoyable. I just think it's cheating that it's on the album list.
And that is fair.
What if there was an album, and then someone was like, this album is so good, I'm going to make a movie to the album?
I mean...
Is that cheating?
There are lots of Beatles movies like that.
Yeah.
And Hard Day's Night is on the list, right?
It is, yeah.
Album list, yeah.
No,
the movie list.
I think the movie is too.
Yeah, that's exactly what Hard Day's Night is.
So is that cheating?
I don't think so, though.
There's also, a story of Hard Day's Night.
So it's not, I haven't seen it, so it's not like Yellow Submarine, which is a crazy movie that is...
Also, it's coherent.
Yeah. Yellow Submarine is not coherent. I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
Hard Day's Night is a Also a funny movie. It's rather good. There's the movie Girl Walk All Day, which is literally just the Girl Talks All Day album.
That's just like several music videos, though.
It is, but it's awesome. And it kind of works as a movie because then they made it characters. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
See, I don't think this works as an album because you're missing the context of the story. It's meant to be paired with a visual medium, and it's not. You are missing that. And so that's why I think it's cheating. Like, I would love to review this movie. I think it would be an excellent conversation because it is one of the more famous blaxploitation films. I think talking about the album, though, is just kind of... It's like a third of the conversation.
Is the movie on the list?
Let me double check real quick.
Because I think I do agree. Like, even though I enjoy listening to the album quite a bit, there wasn't the natural...
Shaft is on the list, yes.
Good.
Hell yeah. The album didn't have the natural flow you have in albums sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't always pinpoint this when we review albums, but usually it makes sense that the songs are in that order. At least that's what it was intended by the artist. This is dictated by a story that we're not seeing of why we're now going to this kind of mood to that kind of mood to that kind of mood. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how hard this was going to review it until we started this. Because I was like, this is good. I can spitball this. And it turns out I can't.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about because we don't know the whole story.
Well, we will sometime in the next 18 years.
Damn.
We got this.
I'm more thinking it's already almost been 2.
Oh, that too. Well, how many hinges do you give Shaft the album?
Shaft the album was absolutely no context. I would give this 4 hinges. It's a really great, really enjoyable album.
And I will give it 4.1 with the understanding that the song Shaft is a 7. All right, that is Shaft by Isaac Hayes. And now it's time for the food segment. Sarah.
So I was really excited about this because Jerusalem artichokes are called sunchokes. I've been meaning to try them. They're a root vegetable. Also, they're colloquially known as fartichokes because they make you fart, and I think that's funny. Unfortunately, we're out of season for them. They are in season in late fall and early spring. So hopefully, it is currently early fall. Hopefully, we'll be in season for them soon.
We're in space.
Well, yeah, but
we are out of season.
I don't want
permanently.
I don't want Marion to make out of season vegetables. Like that just seems like, it's against the laws of nature. So I don't like to do that.
Well, that makes sense. All right, that was the food segment. Pedro.
Yes.
What else did we hear this week?
I'm a Believer by the Monkees.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
Became wildly successful. This is one of the only, I think from pre-ordered albums, they broke platinum in 2 days.
Wow.
Or something of releasing, and I don't know if it's the single or the album the song was on, is one of less than 40 albums to sell over 10 million copies worldwide.
Wow.
So really hugely successful. What's interesting is, I didn't know this until my girlfriend asked me, the Monkees aren't really a band. They are, but started as just a cast of
Yeah, did you not know about the Monkees?
I
the
did
Monkees
not know.
It's like a weird thing that's true.
What?
They were the performers for the Monkees were actually cast to be on the TV show
The Monkees.
The Monkees.
Which I've seen.
And the band went on to be super successful. They kept playing after the show was canceled. But
they were like a band in the show.
Yeah, but the musicians weren't even really cast for their correct instruments. The guitarist was basically a professional bassist. The bassist was a guitarist or something, vice versa. The only guy that was actually good at the drums they didn't put on there because on camera he looked too short. Buy a drum kit. They literally taught a different person how to do the intro bit on the drum kit until he could fake it, and then Later, he learned.
They sort of. I mean,
But, like,
they're like the first. I mean, like they're the first constructed boy band, right? I mean, like more so
Yeah.
than like. There's lots of like shittier. There's lots of shittier examples, like as time goes on, of like basically studio execs going, "This will sell albums,"
Yeah,
and
they're trying to be the Beatles,
works.
right?
Like, well, no, they're not trying to be the Beatles. They're trying to be a poor facsimile of the Beatles that sells like TV ads and maybe a couple albums. They ended up being a lot better than that, which is great. But like that is
Well, I mean,
pure accident.
They're literally called the Monkeys. I mean,
Right.
and they're also spelled incorrectly in a similar
It's-
way
no,
to the
it's-
Beatles.
yeah.
No, it's not like the Monkeys TV show is any good. It's not like this was a great thing for art that they mixed up.
The
But
TV
people
show was
watched it.
canceled in '68. In '67, the Monkees outsold the Rolling Stones and the Beatles combined.
Right,
Like,
like
fucked up, right?
like the Monkeys are a crazy thing that happened. Like in that like
What's a second song by them?
I don't know.
Last Train to Clarksville.
yeah.
Hey, we're the
Daydream
monkeys.
Believer.
There we go.
Say we're monkeys.
And the Monkeys.
I know that one.
I'm trying to think.
There's another one I forgot already, though.
Daydream Believer.
Okay, they got 3 songs.
They've got quite a few.
My Last Sunday, Daydream Believer, yeah.
So this song has stuck around for so long.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's just good and catchy as fuck.
So
It is
catchy.
really catchy.
And it is so easy and good to cover.
There's a lot of covers.
There's
It
a lot
is-
of covers.
It is a song that is not because it's an earworm, because I actually don't really think it is. But you do learn the words really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's only, like, a
it's
handful
really
of
and
words.
they're good words. Like it's really fun. It's like a really sort of like it's not a like it's very in many ways it's very like poppy and wholesome, right?
Mhm.
Like it's super it's super earwormy. I love it.
It's not.
I don't think it's
It's not-
earwormy.
it's
Like,
not
You don't?
too
I
deep.
don't
I
think
get
it's
this stuck in my
stuck
head
in
all
my
the
head.
time.
But like when it stood up, yeah, like oh yeah, I thought love was only true in fairy tales. Like I knew
That-
Right.
I knew the
Perfect.
first lyrics. It's just that's the verse. Yeah.
It's. I mean, the song tells you what it's about in 3 lines, 4 lines. The first 4 lines, I think.
Did not bury the lead. This is the thesis.
Yep.
I'm a believer. Love. I'm a fan.
Exactly, and it just keeps going on that, and it's totally fine. You don't have to think hard about the song, and it doesn't evoke like powerful enough emotions to offend anybody. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's
like,
a pop song. It's a really good pop song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But let's talk about the Shrek of it all.
Yes.
Because
Do we have to?
because while some do enjoy this scene in Shrek when they all just sing I'm a believer at the end for little reason, that was so successful that started this super lazy trend of having like every DreamWorks movie end with all the characters singing a pop song to the screen. Is it the monkey's fault?
No.
It's Smash
It's
Mouth.
Neil
Yeah.
Diamond's fault.
Oh,
Ooh.
is it Neil Diamond or Smash Mouth's fault?
I
I'd
think
say Neil
it's-
Diamond, he's the one who wrote it.
He is. Smash Mouth just covered it. That's what bands do. I think it's actually DreamWorks' fault. They put it in there.
I mean, it's
True.
most
No,
things
it's
are
definitely DreamWorks' fault.
That's what.
it's
that's
mostly
what's
Jeffrey
important.
Katzenberg's fault for a lot of
I
things.
mean, he's a terrible person.
He's not great, but yeah.
It's just an instant classic.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way about it.
And it was, in fact, an instant.
It was,
like,
exactly.
Like, it took no time for everyone to be like, "Oh yeah, this is the best song ever." Like,
Yep.
yep.
Hinges.
Yeah. 4.4.
4.5.
4.5.
4.4.
4.
Okay, don't worry, that did not pass Fast Car, guys.
No, it did not.
It's a really great song.
It's a
It's
very
just
healthy
not,
score
yeah.
for a healthy song.
Hell yeah. There's I'm a Believer by the
People.
Monkees. Almost said,
As performed by the
almost
Monkees.
said the Beatles. I didn't.
Yeah.
No one would have noticed.
I
No,
think they
everybody
would
would have noticed.
I feel there are some Beatles fans out there
Okay, fine.
who have to say a few things. Now it's time for the children's book section. Adam, what did we read this week?
Nothing. But we should have read Foxie by Ingrid and Edgar Perrin Doler, but it's French, probably.
Probably.
Bye.
You know, this one I feel like couldn't get it in time. I feel I can get this. in
I'll
a few
read it
months.
if you get it.
I feel this one's not completely lost to the world.
Oh, you're doing this thing.
On that note, that's time for the TV show. And the TV show this week is Land of the Lost.
What if you had just done that transition and the TV show was totally nothing that had to do with Lost things?
I may have accidentally said Lost, because I still think I might be able to find Foxie. And then I stopped talking about the book.
I thought you were going to talk about the show Lost.
We already did that.
Anyway, Land of the Lost or something?
Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition met the greatest earthquake ever known. High on the rapids, it struck their tiny raft and plunged them down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost.
Yeah. Land of the Lost is a 3-season TV show that came out in 1974. It is bonkers. It aired on NBC. It is kind of a children's show. Kind of a really hard sci-fi show. And kind of just of an art project. Not in terms of like David Lynch, more in terms of arts and crafts.
Like what children make with finger paints.
This is the confusing story of a family who is on a routine expedition, whatever that means, and they are on a raft, and then they go over a waterfall, and then they keep falling through some sort of dimensional portal, and now they are in the Land of the Lost. And you got the image of like this father and his 2 kids, and there's dinosaurs, yada yada. No, they didn't go back in time to dinosaur times. This is a bonkers, crazy dimension with weird ape people and weird Silurian ripoffs from Doctor Who called the Sleesacks, and giant pylons that are kind of 2001-ish, and then there are sky pylons who are robotic, mystical creatures who protect the pylons, and there are various colored jewels that control the weather. This show is really, really, really weird. I watched season 1 and a bit of season 2, and you have 3 actors who have to spend most of the show acting alongside claymation dinosaurs, and they are all 3 horrendously bad actors who have to do like dialogue the Brady Bunch wouldn't air of how they act around each other. And yet then, so you have some episodes where it's like, oh no, the dinosaur named Dopey is stuck in the tar pit, we need to get it out, and we have to use rope and stuff. That's 20 minutes. And then you have one which has images of their dead mother trying to trick them into being eaten by lizard people. It's bonkers. It's half the staff wanted to do really, really crazy drug-filled sci-fi stories that, as someone who's seen too much drug-filled sci-fi, couldn't follow. The season 1 finale is all about how a lizard person from the distant future from the distant past, because they originally built this city, can't use his time door to go back home because time is distorted because the wrong amount of entities have entered the Land of the Lost, because the 3 main characters have died in the waterfall in the opening credits. And it's a paradox because the 3 of them exist now, but they should be dead. If they leave now, then the other version of themselves who may or may not be dead can then enter and reset the entire show. And then that happens. And then I don't know what's going on. No matter what, the show doesn't work because it always has the look and feel of a Saturday morning cartoon, even though it's live action with claymation dinosaurs. It has the ideas of a larger story want to tell, but will always fail because the three main characters are so horribly written and horribly acted that they never can have a cohesive story to tell, because at the center of it is the most annoying trio in television and just a glob of a crazy show that is never total. You have a crazy Confederate soldier they found in a cave at one point who keeps wanting the South to rise again. You also, more soldiers, they have hope they could leave one day, but they find that the guy who did leave just died, and he was a member, like a close member of Washington's army, and he just like died in this area where these three will like stay forever, but they won't stay forever because we had the super older version of the little girl come from the future to help her save her brother from falling. So they will get out one day because now she's a time-traveling angel person, I think. Fuck, this show doesn't make any sense. And like Doctor Who doesn't make a lot of sense either. But Doctor Who's fun because at the heart of it you have at least one great character and a rotating series of companions that are great to tolerable. There's something coherent also with Doctor Who, except for that two-parter where they just played cricket the whole time. That was bad. Besides that, They Lost is stupid, and there's no reason why they couldn't have just told a story of a family in dinosaur times. Instead, they went ambitiously crazy and just sucked. So for some reason, this was remade in the 90s, which I kind of remember seeing an episode or two. And then that was canceled as well. And then it was made into a parody movie starring Will Ferrell a couple years ago. That I didn't see because it got terrible reviews. It's almost like this is a bad property that people should stop making because it doesn't make any sense.
I have some fun nostalgia from the 90s TV series remake.
I didn't have time to rewatch any of that.
I haven't rewatched any of it either. I just remember really enjoying it when I was much younger and it was playing on Nickelodeon. So I imagine it's really terrible.
I also it's really hard for me to get super invested in like these damned stories, like Quantum Leap or something like that, where it's like every episode says or like The Incredible Hulk was reviewed way long time ago, which is that the main characters are so upset about what's going on because they don't want to be doing this. Like every episode is them trying to go back home and they don't go back home because then the show will be over. So it's just, I don't know. It's like a werewolf story. They didn't do anything wrong, and now they're just fucking cursed to be part of this shit. I don't know. I get too empathetic, I guess, about this. But not really, because I also hate these three characters. That's it. Land of the Lost. It is a show that is bonkers.
I saw 5 minutes and I walked out and it said, like, nope, this is a nope.
It has 2 theme songs.
It's not okay.
So in case you were worried that it didn't have enough crazy-ass theme songs that are very, very early 70s, it's got them. 2.3. Alright, that's Land of the Lost. That's episode 91.
Nice.
Woohoo!
It's like half the
compact.
length of last episode.
Yep.
We did it.
Yep.
Let's not start anything crazy, like any new plot lines or anything. Let's just enjoy our space-time travel and go. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Doing equations again.
No, I just wanted to see what multiple of 791 was, and it's 13.
Oh.
Yeah,
Two prime
that's
numbers.
kind of fun.
7 times
That is
13.
nice.
That is...
Lucky number, unlucky number, all that good stuff.
That is...
I believe, I like 13 a lot, actually. I don't think it's unlucky. But that's just me.
Because luck is a construct.
It is.
Speaking of, I don't know, numbers. Marion. I probably shouldn't do it. Is that? I want to keep it on the good graces.
Don't talk to her. Don't even look at her.
I don't know where she is.
She likes Leigh. Leigh's her
Don't
favorite.
look at anything.
This keeps happening for a lot of our side characters.
Because I'm the best.
And
think
you're
she
the
is.
worst, Austin.
God damn it! Let's not rank us.
Well, we only ranked 2 of us.
All right. Leigh, how about you ask Marianne what our next number is?
Hey, Marion, babe, sweetie pie, can you give us a new number?
607.
Thanks.
Terse.
So
Wow, yeah.
wait, we should all be calling Marianne Babe? Is that what we should be doing?
No,
Apparently.
no,
Right.
not you,
No,
Austin.
don't do that.
Not you.
Don't do that.
Definitely not you.
Write that down. No Babe. Yep.
Oh,
So
shit. This is a good number.
Is it now?
Did Marianne choose well?
Yeah. Ooh, the food Serrano ham. Ham's tasty.
Ham is good.
Hmm.
The TV show is Band of Brothers.
Wow. Cool.
That might cause Whiplash such a high quality jump from Land of the Lost to Band of Brothers.
Our second David Schwimmer entry.
Yeah.
Yes, finally. And hopefully not the
Everything
last.
anyone would ever want.
The song is 99 Luftballons by Nena.
That's an earworm.
That is
Yes.
an earworm.
The children's book is Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Paterson.
Nice.
The album is Bad by Michael Jackson.
Damn. Okay.
See if the movie will make this a kind of an awesome set. What's the movie?
I don't know. I don't have that list.
That's your jam.
It's our jam.
It's your jam.
The
Give me-
jam would be
No
your
one has
jam.
literally ever said it except for you.
Yeah, that's never
Oh.
happened.
The movie's Network.
God damn it, I was
Hey,
about to
I
do
like
it.
that movie.
You couldn't find it in time.
Nope.
Just going through all the pages real fast.
Yep.
Network. Oh man. Wish it was relatable.
What's that movie about?
You'll find out.
You know, just someone who turns the news system into a ratings grab of evoking fear and personality over facts and story and causing emotional duress and
And they
outrage.
find out men and women aren't that different after all. Just
Adam's
like
always 1
this
week off. And that's all quiet on the Western Front. Just kidding. There's no women in that. So anyway, come back next week and we're going to be reviewing that crazy good set. That $1 million set of stuff. So, until then, you can leave us your thoughts on Adam's Rib and the monkeys and everything else over at theartandworld.com, where there you can check out other podcasts, including Let's Take 5, in which we are starting our new 5 tomorrow. Yesterday we had the wrap-up of Robert Altman, and oh boy, tomorrow we're starting the 5 Andrei Tarkovsky films. So,
Popular
that's-
choice there.
that's what I'm going to be doing from here till
A
end
lot
of
of
this.
people have seen those movies.
Just watching these 3-hour Russian films. It's been great. But that also means a new theme song by Adam, where he had to deal with non-English dialogue for the theme song.
Hey, it's fine. I'm good at it.
It's what you do.
He is good at it.
So the first one up is Ivan's Childhood, which actually is a very reasonably length and very, very good film of a young boy who is a spy in World War II. It's on Filmstruck. It's very good. Yep. Also, you could check out a little podcast called Ad Absurdum.
Yay, guess who finally released the podcast? Me.
You did.
Nice.
I did.
So the Westworld episode is out now.
It's about Westworld.
So season 1 of Westworld, it is fantastic. I heard it today. So if you want to know, why I was wrong about treating Marion the way I did, here is a very legal argument about why I'm a bad person.
Don't fuck with AI.
And but there are spoilers for the season of Westworld, but it's actually just a ton of amazing stories, like this monkey selfie thing, which is crazy.
Yep.
So check that out. And also email us at theimmortals@theartmore.com, Twitter at theimmortalspod. You have to go up on YouTube. At work we find all your music.
Songs by alord.com.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
So we'll see you all next week. My name's Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Leigh.
And I'm Pedro.
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Alligator.
In a while.
Crocodile.
Is there another one?
We're done now.
When I look all believe the things I found. Now I need to find my way. I must find me living in the land of the Lord. Living in the land of the Lord.